Here's the breadboard prototype of the simple camera timer. There's 350D connected by the blue cable to the handset. This is the handset. There are two controls. There's a switch on the side and there's a button on the top, and an on-off switch, which is over here at the moment. It's currently on, and the switch is in the manual mode. Pressing the button once, you'll hear the camera mirror lock go up, and then the exposure will start. There the exposure starts, and now you'll hear some ticking. This is to indicate the seconds elapsing, and you can look on the back of the camera to see the number of seconds that have elapsed. When you've got the right exposure, you press the button again, and that closes the shutter. You can now, if you like, reprogram it, use it again in the same way, or you can run it into auto mode. So what it'll do when I go into auto mode by flicking this switch is repeat the last exposure that's just been done, which in this case was, I can't remember how many seconds it was, but we'll see. So as I flick the switch, you should hear the shutter, the mirror go up, and then the exposure, and you will get a series of clicks and bleeps in the same way to show that the exposure is working. So here it goes into auto. As the exposure started, now the clicking. Once the clicking is finished, there's the end of the exposure, and I get a double bleep to show that the exposure has finished, and you'll hear that it's automatically restarted its next exposure. And it'll just keep doing that for as long as you leave that switch in that position. At any point you can turn the unit off and back on and it will continue, or you can turn the unit back into manual mode and set a new exposure time. So once I'm happy with, if I've had enough, I switch it back into manual, and you'll notice the mirror comes, the shutter closes, and I get a sound to say that I've cancelled the actual run. Now at this point I can restart the sequence by flicking it down, or I can start a new actual time. I can also switch the unit back off. If I switch it off, I've just switched it off with the switch. If I switch it back on again, nothing will happen until I go into auto mode, and it'll remember the value, the actual shutter value that was programmed in last time. So here goes. He says. There we go. And there we go, the sequence starts again. I'll stop it there.